Well, great morning, everyone. Well, the cheater in golf is back. After they caught his caddy just dumping a ball next to the hole for him to win. Because he's the greatest golfer ever. But anyway, he's back in the U.S. and he got rid of all of his things today on his calendar, except to meet with J.D. Vance for lunch. So what's going on? Well, I pulled cards, and I'm hoping that the clarifying read gives us more, but I'll show you what I've gotten so far. So what's driving it all, underneath of everything, is his facing this loss. Loss of supporters, etc., because this isn't going away, okay? So he's facing upside down. This is stalled, figuring out what to birth, what he can do to manipulate the situation, okay? Yeah. What a surprise, huh? So how can we manipulate this situation? Because the outside influence is, I want this blocked, I want this ended when it comes to the long term, okay? So, yeah, this is coming in, I want this ended, and I'm looking at the long term because this is not going away. So they're trying to meet with J.D. Vance to come up with some new scheme. Now I'm wondering, this is just my own thing, wondering if he's not going to try to throw somebody from the higher up in the DOJ under the bus and say, I knew nothing about this move for her. It wasn't me. Somebody used the auto pen and did it behind my back. I was not involved in it. I wonder if he's going to think that he can come up with that. But let's see. So the reading's about what's being worked on, shedding light on controlling the situation. So how can we control this? It's not going away. There has to be a way to manipulate this and bring it to an end for the long term. So the energy coming into it is a message. Again, got to have a new message. It's all about his underlying scheming, drama, to put the lid on it. So some sort of a message we need to put out to put the lid on it, because now I need to temper it. We need to find a way to temper this. I don't like what's coming in and how it's moving. So again, it's all about scheming and drama. But the challenge is, the big blow up. Because of what's been handed out and what I'm trying to get away with. So the big challenge is, what was handed out to Ghislaine and the big blow up it's caused, and how can I get away with it now? Potential outcome, as usual, something hidden about a life path choice. His scheming in the dark of night, his insanity, because of his emotional, what's driving him emotionally, okay? So, again, some hidden thing that he's going to try to manufacture. I think he's going to try to throw somebody else under the bus with his delusion and attempting to control the situation at hand. Either that or, is he going to try to tell J.D. Vance to take one for the team? Or who can we get to throw under the bus? Or can you create some new scandal to get me out of this? But let's see what the clarifying read has to say about it. But they're over there scheming today, that's for sure. What kind of manipulation can we pull to put an end to this for the long term? Okay? What's in your sneaky little mind, J.D. Vance? What can we do? So let's see, the center of it all we have, what's being birthed? The abundance of things coming out now to America. Yeah, whole abundance of stuff. The message about an action that we now know what happened and figuring out the next move. So scheming and planning for what's coming out to America. So we have the dark government, okay? The dark government and his wanting to make some new plan, put something else in motion, and holding on when it comes to the evidence and it comes to the things holding it, okay? Doesn't want it to get out. Abuse, control, again, the government way to control this and to move him forward to a better place because of his emotional drama with it. On the one side, we have what's being worked on as a message of control, an abuse of power, take charge of the government with a new message. Let's see, on the other side of it, we have rapidly trying to figure out a way to put something in motion, take control, take charge to move it forward. Because the center of it, we have what's coming out, trying to hold on to the evidence that is, implicating him. So trying to figure out a new action when it comes to what's coming out, a way to keep it under wraps. Okay? A way to keep it under wraps, a way of controlling this situation. Something new. So what is this? I think I want to take in control, or do we want to look at the new action? Okay, taking control, taking charge. Leadership with this abuse of power for all the things he's given Ghislaine, offering up, which has now put him on the edge because of his desires for a victory and the dark drama he just did to keep everything up in the air, to keep it moving away from the White House. Okay. So I think we'll look at this leadership. What about the leadership? Let's look at the card of leadership here. Mover and shaker, getting out there, putting something in motion, some sort of a new action. So let's go ahead and shuffle the cards and see what that's about. See if it's going to tell us what's going on. What about this leadership? Why J.D. Vance? What is going on with this? So far, we just see that they're scheming and he's looking at a way for the dark government to get him out of this. So we have him figuring out some sort of leadership, looking about the investigations, investigating to keep the lid on things. The wheel is turning and trying to hold on to this, to keep it under wraps. And we've got, the Republicans. A message about control and the burden of keeping this under wraps and controlling the action with the Republicans. So it's something to do with the House, the Senate, perhaps looking to control it. On the one hand, we have the investigations, but they are standing, and the wheel is turning when it comes to, that's usually my card now for Pam Bondi. And the other side of it, the choices being made in life with the burden of keeping this hidden. When it comes to what he's just given Ghislaine, feeling out in the cold, wanting to move this forward to a better place by what? By control, abuse of power, by his abuse of power. On one hand, we have, now it looks like Pam Bondi with the investigation and the message is being put out, but the wheel is turning when it comes to it. Okay. So the action, controlling the action when it comes to the Republicans, the burden of keeping it hidden, keeping the lid on it, on the path going forward. Pam Bondi with the investigations. The wheel is turning, though, on the message being put out there. We'll do one more. We're going to put Pam Bondi in this center and see what it says about Pam Bondi's actions. What about Pam Bondi and the actions here? Is he going to try to throw her under the bus? Out in the cold? With the long term? Out in the cold when it comes to the long term. Out in the cold trying to figure out the next move, the next action, to hold on to that information for the long term. And distancing, walking away. Is he going to throw her under the bus? A new action, figuring out. Again, a message about an action, about holding on for the long term, walking away, the life choice. On one time, controlling everything with a new action, figuring out the next move, with being out in the cold. When it comes to Pam Bondi, in the center of it, the life choices and walking away. See what's on the other side. A victory with a message about an action, holding on to these things for the long term. Underneath of it all, his choices, his desires, due to his past pedophilia that's now pushed him to the edge, and what's being offered up in this way going forward that he's done. Okay? Strengthening what's being shared, working on this painful happening that's being juggled, that has become a huge burden, and fighting with the justice. So I'm wondering if in some way, shape, or form he's going to try to throw Bondi under the bus. Or is this another woman of action that he's going to try to throw under the bus? I'm just going to leave it here. You know, I don't have all the answers with this. I'm just reading the energy of the moment, but it looks like he is with Vance scheming a to try to put an end to these things. But, you know, I'm asking if he's going to try to throw Bondi under the bus. You know, he's mentally trying to calculate things. Is he going to find a way out of this? No, he's out in the cold. He's out in the cold with it. He's not going to find a way out. I wonder, are they going to try to get Ghislaine out of the country? Possibly. Get her out of the country. Is this going to work for him? Is this going to work? No. They're watching like a hawk, okay? Mentally tied up. Yeah, no, They know the schemes and the things, so that's not going to work. Is his scheme with Vance going to work? It's being juggled. Whatever scheme they're up to, they're juggling it. Okay? And so how is this going for Trump today? An agreement. They're working on an agreement, okay, about how to control it. So on that note, I just think I'll leave that here. We're getting into a round robin of stuff. I don't think that it's been fully planned yet, but yeah, it's how to distance from it, how to walk away from it. Okay? How to walk away from it. So apparently, they may be trying to scheme and figure out who could we throw under the bus, or what kind of a new drama can we manufacture to take the eyes off of this, and it's got to be something big because this isn't going away. So on that note, I'll leave that here, and we'll see you online. Oh my goodness.